Today is Sunday, the 1st of December 2019. To demonstrate that to you, I'm just going to take you to some news website, any old news website. This pathetic little shit here. Here's the news, whatever crap they sell as news these days. Let's go to something German. I don't know. I don't know if they still have this kind of URL. Do they? Yes, they do. So here's crap news from abolished for years so-called Germany. They're being very funny little fucks, all kinds of fucks, those. So this is just to give you the verification on the 1st of December afternoon, Sunday afternoon. I actually record this because, let me just briefly show you what mail I sent just a little while ago, a few minutes ago. I sent out this. This is not really of much importance. It just goes to show how YouTube suppresses what I do there in any way, shape, and color they can. My comments do not show up for other people, except hand-selected such, and only hand-selected by the filth of Fixmundi, where utter drones of theirs and their own Fixmundi members leave idiotic remarks to my comments. My comments do not show up to other people. My thumb voting does not count. See here how it says 0, even though I gave it a thumb down. It should say 1. It used to say 1 until a few days ago. You know, I made this a few days ago. When I wrote this comment on this video, on the music to be heard in there, I also thumbed it down and it said 1, but by now they worked it so that it doesn't even count anymore, but it still registers that I thumbed it down, and so on and so forth. So I just, you know, because it is evident, proven that my comments do not show up for other people, I actually record just a little bit on the comments that I make. I'll record them here in a video. Now, I do know that my videos do not show up for other people, hand-selected, accepted. I do know that, so I go to history. If you wonder, well, what point does it make to record this video? It makes a heck of a lot of point, trust you me. And here is the comments that, this is all the comments for the most part. There is, a few months back, they deleted some of those comments. But as of the last few months, they didn't delete any of these comments. So here is chronologically in descending order. So this is the most recent one. I'm going to take you through all the comments, and you will have to pause the video and read for yourself. I will just click on what it was as a reply to. So this was a reply to my own. This here was documented in the video how I wrote this. They deleted it. I wrote it again. They deleted it again. And then the next day it was present again, although they had deleted it twice of that. And I just pointed this out here. So I'm just going to always show you what it says here. I commented on a lot of videos. I'm just going to set this down so that it doesn't load so long. So here's the comment. I thumbed this up myself, and for the time being this still counts before they run a routine over it to make it not count, and then it'll be a 0 count. And no one else sees this. No one else sees this. Here is several. I keep you know, I keep updating certain topics, such as this topic here. This is updated, so to speak, from my own comments. Yes, I thumbed that up myself. I did, in a counter-ridiculing kind of way. I thumbed this up myself, because, I a priori thumb up my comments. You know, that's logical. This is another interesting thing. Good people in 90s Japan. All these 3 runners in there are me. Actually, the store owner, that's the real me, so to speak, and the other 2 runners the guy who wanted to rob the bank and he from the Yakuza, they were the two con-egos that they tried to work and deluded they were working from left side and right side setup as it used to be then. And it's a wonderful movie, and the resistance of Japan made this for me. I was kept for years and years and years and years and years from watching this movie. They made Lola Rent or whatever crap that was called as a distraction from that. In fact, they did all kinds of distractions from this movie. This movie is a 1996 movie, and I was 19 years old then, just for completeness sake. This is a while ago. And if you correctly read these two kanji here, and that is something that the Japanese resistance did all the way back with Godzilla, the original Godzilla. They already assumed that sane people such as I would understand how to correctly read the included kanji. And if you read these two kanji correctly, it doesn't mean bullet train or any shit like that. It means something completely different, namely something to the quintessence of rubber soul, which is a pointing out the doing of the Beatles, what with the music in Japan and blah 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 blah, or it's simply tama tama or tam tam, which is a Viennese slang expression. The guy who runs the tam tam, which is really the drummer. There you are at a what do they call it? Taiko? I think they call it taiko. These big drums. It's a very Japanese resistance kind of thing. This is 1996. Many of the actors are dead. The actors had nothing to do with it. The actors were not the resistance, but many of the actors are dead now. Most of the resistance is dead, but they sowed seeds, and I'm trying currently, because I wrote this yesterday, okay? I own this movie on DVD. I watched it once, but severely sabotaged a long time ago, or twice actually, years ago. But, you know, so years and years. This was before 2013 and whatnot. I watched it unsabotaged and unmolested, so to speak. Well, I was not molested, but it just tortured me, but didn't sabotage me in any way. And it was perfectly clear that this is a movie about me. So if you want to, you don't need to watch the movie, but just if you wonder what this is about. And I made this same comment. I copied and pasted it to several. As you can see here, it's again under another video on YouTube where this movie is in a trailer style, summarized or something. Here's the trailer for it. I made 4 identical comments to 4 different videos. Not because I'm stupid, but because I know what I'm doing. Okay, not one of them shows up. Here, the next one. This is completely butchered and forged. This is not what originally aired. And I tried to write this a little here. You click pause whenever you think you find something that interests you. I comment all kinds of music videos and so on and so forth because it is important to demonstrate. Here we are. I don't know why some of these ads keep playing before. You know, normally it shouldn't even load them because it should go straight. If you click directly, let's try this again. If you click directly to the comment, it shouldn't even load it. It should auto pause it right away. But some, only with the ads. If there's no ads at the beginning of videos, it works perfectly fine. But with the ads, the first couple of seconds, like 2-3 seconds here, 2 seconds here, get played nonetheless. I don't know why that is so. So here is just, you know, I mean, it's nothing new. All of the Fix Mundi in North America have since the 20s blown Pulp Fiction through their fucking brains because the fucking idiots blew everything through their brains, literalized, verbalized, taking everything word perfect because their brains were dead and they shoved their religious text through their brains like that. And all kinds of fantastic genre stories they blew through their brain, okay? That's what this is about. And this has been going for almost 100 years now, okay? Just so that you understand that all people alive over there are infinite traders, completely. So let's go to the next one. This is actually an off-topic one insofar as that there is a quotation. There is a quotation that a Ramones gig would only last 30 minutes because no one could stand the 31st minute. Yet here they are playing for, I think, almost an hour. Let's click that shit away. Yeah, 51 minutes. They're playing 51 minutes. Yeah, 50 minutes gig. That's some gig, by the way. Sometimes I reply to other people's comments. They don't get any notification on it typically unless they allow that. Fixmundi, hand selected. If they think it's out of context enough and no one gets what it's about, then they leave occasional comments through, but they're completely delusional in that. So this is what some idiot, Lucy Baby 666, some complete fucking idiot, commented, and I pointed out that fucking idiot is wrong on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 counts. I need not explain that. I'm not going to explain what it says here. You are just to see what all I comment. This is all over the last couple of days. I spent the last week commenting and commenting and commenting, and there is practically no reply to any of my comments and no thumb up or down to any of my comments, even though some of these comments were made on videos where there's millions of views and regularly tons of people watch it, which is indirect proof that my comments do not show up to other people. I made such a lot of comments, some of them so so humoristically good that statistically alone, some of these people ought to thumb it up or thumb it down or write some kind of reply, and none of that happens. None of that happens. That is also proof that my comments do not show up. You can read yourself. It's again, if you go through this video here, as I intend you to do, which is to pause it like 500 times by the time this video is over, you will always have to, go here. This is, for instance, where you'd be having to go, this part here. Watch the video and understand the context, okay? I assure you, my comments are not in context, not on context to the videos. They have something to do with the videos or to whatever other people comment when I comment their comments, and so on and so forth. I'm just going to speed this up a little. For some of my comments you need brains, such as this one. You probably don't understand. It's about this here. This is not the organization. This is one person who commits himself. That is what is meant in my comment, you all should have learned English, because the title explains what Bowie's doing here. This is Bowie's oath. That's what it is. And as they hate Bowie with a vengeance, even though he's dead, and I reduced all dead to nothing, there are no more dead around, even though he's dead and removed to nothing, they still hate David Bowie as bad as they possibly can. And so I sometimes, if I come across a good line of his, such as, where a sad-eyed merman tossed in slumber, tossing means wanking, ejaculating basically, and sad-eyed mermen are idiot Navy fuckers. So you gotta understand what Bowie was singing about, because he was from day one of his career working for the resistance. Or this song, I explained this again already years ago, I explained this, I think, was about Brian Jones, whom they dragged in some kind first the resistance got him, then he got conquered by some other people, then the resistance got him again, and then some other people again finally dragged him into some limbo. The man who sold the world is a wordplay on the man who bought the farm. Okay, he didn't, the point is Brian Jones didn't buy the farm. To buy the farm is a saying for someone dying, but he didn't buy the farm, he sold the world, because Brian Jones went into the underground for a time before Charles personally dragged him out there. And as I explained before, had Brian Jones finally executed the day that Mick Jagger got his knighthood or OBE or whatever the fuck he gave Mick. On that day, Brian Jones was executed. Just so you know. Here's another David Bowie song about how Kennedy, yes, the JFK Kennedy, told the fucks in the Navy when they demonstrated him a few things, expecting him to say, oh, that's so jolly good, wow, good thing. Kennedy was not at all fond of what he was shown, and he said that they are to immediately cut this out and have none of that shit. And then that he said, well, we can't have that, can we? Yeah, let's just off the fucker. And they off the fucker. You know, that's what the Navy did. Some idiots. See, a lot of
Du warst nicht dabei, als der Mensch das Feuer entfachte. Aus Tierfellkleider.
A lot of the freakazoids, a lot of the completely dead-brained people who do not tap into the zero-dimensional, who are not life forms, corpse forms, that's what they are, even though they walk around, a lot of them are always on forced literalization mode. So if some idiot like Angelo Catapang, whatever the fuck, writes some shit like David Bowie's heavy metal song, there is brain dead fucks out there, hundreds and hundreds of millions of brain dead fucks out there who go, oh, David Bowie's heavy metal song. This song has nothing to do with heavy metal at all, whatsoever. And I say this with all the musical competence that there is in the infinite universe. So, I just comment, there is nothing heavy metal about this song whatsoever. Because if those dead brain people read that, they go, oh, okay, there is nothing heavy metal about this song whatsoever. And that is one of the reasons, that's one of the reasons why they do not allow my comments to show up. It's not just for the life forms that I try to say, for the Echtmenschen. It's because they know that the way I work truth, and all of their fucking idiot corpse form freakazoids out there, being on forced literalization mode, they would suck up this simple true statement as that what it is, namely truth. They would read this and then read this and then read this and then go, oh, it's heavy metal song. Oh, he said in the interview, oh, it has nothing heavy metal about it. Okay, and that's that. And they have no, resources-wise, it's too much hassle to individually control every single little fucking freakazoid that they have spawned out there. So they suppress my comments that not just the Echtmenschen don't read them, but that even the millions of freakazoids don't read them, because their minds would take them at, so to speak, face value. Because that's how I write. Okay? That's one of the reasons why they do not allow my comments to show up. But let's continue here. This will be a lengthy video. There will be, I should point this out, there will be a bit of hiccup in this video eventually, because my Mac's RAM has a hiccup after, I don't remember, half an hour of video recording or an hour of video recording. So there'll be a little hiccup in this video. That's normal. That has to do with some kind of outsourcing from the RAM onto the hard disk or something. Nothing I could do about that. Here's another comment on D. Martin's Christmas Show 1968. Two comments actually here. This was the first. Sometimes, oftentimes lately, I just point out if something is Fix Mundi doing, you know, and then it just says Fix Mundi Grotesquerie. Period. You know, that's what it is. Fix Mundi Grotesquerie. I click these links so that you can read, once more, that you can read up there where this actually is.
A couple of weeks later, we got an email that our results were ready. I have no idea that I'm 12.1.
That is why I actually click these links. So, let's continue. Is that. This is before Didi died. They had conquered him at that point. This was already Fix Mundi made all over this place, this album. This is right before he died. This is a bit off topic again, but true nonetheless.
My husband and I both.
And talking of these videos, see, these ad videos here, I always skip them as soon as I can. But I can't do anything about this because I have an old Mac with an old operating system, and none of the browser software that I use, the internet browser software, none of them. I have the old Safari somewhere on a hard disk, which is not getting updates since years. Firefox is about, namely this version of Firefox, 45.9.0. This is the version of Firefox that I use. This is the latest version for the operating system 10.6.8, which I still use on my Mac. And there is no meaningful ad blocker or anything. And what Fixmundi does is they give me ads which, knowing that I only listen to the first 5 seconds until you can skip it, right? There's a 5-second countdown in case you don't know that. And it counts down and then it says skip it. And then you can click it and you skip to the video and don't have to watch, like in this case for instance, the full ad would be 35 seconds. You have to sit through the first 5 and then you can skip it. And they give me videos of ads in particular before the videos where in the first 5 seconds there is bits and pieces said which they record via the extraction protocols as me allegedly hearing or saying, even though I don't say it, they say this in these videos. Here it's this shit about DNA and heritage and blah shit. I get this, blah. I don't know, I must have seen this shit video here about 2,000 times by now, and there's nothing I can do about it. But they discredit me with some of the lines of dialogue and even sometimes some of the things you see, such as, DNA test or blah, whatnot. For instance, that I am beholding someone opening a DNA test, and they can drag it from there as me allegedly being a criminal and some cop were having me undergo a DNA test, like I was some rapist or something and my DNA had to be taken for a sampling. This video, the first 5 seconds of this shit allows for a multitude of discrediting against me. I just want you to understand that. And there is the weirdest kinds of videos, ad videos that I get. Again, I'm not talking about the videos, I'm talking about the ads that they shove my way prior to being able to watch the video. And all of them contain dialogues or visual elements that are being utilized in discrediting me. This is a nice example. Some of these idiots, so I wrote a comment here, and this is one of the cases where one of their drones was made to comment in a completely nonsensical way, bet you will find at parties, and they leave the period out at the end. Sometimes they put 2 periods because they have a crazy thing in their brain that allegedly does something when it doesn't do shit, other than make me understand these people are interpunctually handicapped. That's all these people are. Now, in this particular case, they tried to drive my attention to the missing period and hope that I would not get what they tried to work with the parties word here, because they meant and intended to work routines on me via remoting. By the way, if you don't know what remoting is, well, go watch some years old videos of mine, then you know what remoting is. Because I abolished all parties, political parties. There is no more political parties in the world. I abolished them all. And in Thailand, there is no political parties. Thailand is not a one-party nation. As I said before, it is a zero-party nation. There is no parties. There will never again be political parties. And in this particular case, here I wrote that as a reply to, which chances are that drone never even got to read or hear or whatnot. Because why should they bother? Really? It just goes to demonstrate how Fixmundi are being idiots. Here, I try to demonstrate, or inform actually, I try to inform 2 musicians, namely better known as Farin and Bela B from a band called Die Ärzte. I try to inform them of what they are. It says here basically what they are. I wrote a couple of such comments elsewhere. Both of them are made out of genetic material, but in an in vitro fertilization life form way, by actors that the resistance, when those 2 were little kids, got together to be in this science fiction series, old German science fiction series. It says here a few things. Well, actually, this video would take several hours, so I'm just going to scroll down. You can just type, you could also, let's see. What you could do is highlight. Oh no, actually you can't highlight it because you're watching a video. Well, you'd have to be very precise in typing it, as it's called, and then just commenting it and going to YouTube and typing that into the search, and with a bit of luck you ought to be getting exactly that, although you don't. Well, here you don't, here you don't, here. That again speaks, my search is word perfect, the title of the video, and yet there's two other search results coming up first before the word perfect one. The search routines at YouTube are so obscene, deliberately obscene search routines. You get shit that you don't seek for, you get wrong kind of things, and the meaningful results are always somewhere further down, even though you are ultra precise in your search parameters. This is just to drive all the sane people crazy as they dilute, because it's so easy allegedly getting people crazy. This is Fox,
and this is my 1990.
This is Fox ridiculing themselves. These people are in Wichita, and there's a dude called the Wizard. And what is that got to do with Wichita? Well, that's because of the Wizard of Oz and all of that. And I just pointed out that, if you're talking Wichita, I am the Wizard of Oz, and no one fucking else, and certainly not that mechanic running around with a jumpsuit where it says David. Okay? He fucking ain't no one. He fucking is nothing. I will just, again, pause the video, look at what it's called, do a search for it. I know that in some cases, like here, you don't actually see what specifically is being commented on, but, torture the fucking idiots who mess with my comments on YouTube to make everything show up to you, and you will see what I wrote and commented to what, and so on and so forth. I'm just going to scroll down here, because otherwise this would really take hours and hours and hours. And wherever there's a case of, actually there's a lot of cases. No, we'll see one of these cases soon. Yes, this is humor. Same people are appreciative of humor. I get their obscene and insane attempted ridicule my way. I give them vintage ridicule, such as by this, because I understand and can work humor and they cannot. That does not mean, oh, humor means he's joking, he not mean it. No, he mean it. You trust him. He mean it. He mean just that. Just that. No, he's no fuck Weddington. No. And no sovereignty. No. I'm trying to talk like a Jew here. And people don't get this. People, see, you don't get shit because you allow them to fuck your brains into ways that you won't ever get shit. But some people are, so to speak, like I explained before about the freakazoids, some of you fucks will be so overtaxed by you not getting things that your brains will remember some of the things that you don't get, and they will indirectly do shit to your brains because you refuse to, so to speak, digest them. Okay, I am putting this very liberally here. Liberally, not liberately, liberately too. You might say WWF wrestlers. Yeah, WWF wrestlers, just two W's. Back in the day when this video was made, there was semi-resistance in a WWF. Which is one of the many reasons, I mean, anyone who has an appreciation of chronology and goes to see how that all played out and how comes they did Rowdy Roddy Piper in so badly, Buddy and Oil and all of that thing, how they did him in so badly with that They Live movie and so on and so forth. There was resistance in the WWF, and that resistance worked on Dave. I call him Dave because he used to be a good human. They worked on Dave to help him in this video here, and so on and so forth. So this is all on context, in context of Fakes Monday doing in mankind, wanting to eradicate all life, all the fucking idiots that they are. I'm actually waiting for something to come up here where I can demonstrate to you how it looks. So as you can see, I've been very busy commenting all kinds of videos. I just sat several hours through one playlist of heavy metal, or whatever they call heavy metal, and commented, just one-line comments to many of these videos, which do these comments, namely, do what they're supposed to do, and that is why they don't allow them to be displayed. They're saying, oh, we won't have that. What? Expose our puppeteered corpse forms to the truth? No, I think not. But of course, they are mostly corpse forms themselves these days, being told that they weren't. The Jews find it very funny. Actually, they don't. They find it that kind of thing that sane people find funny. They think it's the same kind of thing, which it isn't, I assure you, but they think it's the same kind of thing. Here is a case. This is how it looks. Now, see here always is links, and this is how it looks when they took down a video from YouTube. Over these last 2 weeks, this is the only such case, and it was just one of the metal videos that they took down, so this is no biggie, so to speak, but this is what it looks like when they take down the entire video. Now, evidently, because here it is being displayed, the comment still exists. It's got to be, server-side on some kind of database somewhere as a comment, because here it's being displayed, even though the video the comment is to has been removed from YouTube. The comment still exists. Especially a bit longer ago, I made a lot of comments, and recently, just a few days ago, I sent a mail where I collected these cases. Yeah, I just took little screen snippets from this here area where whatever it said on such cases where the video is now unavailable, and I just sent that out. Let me show that to you. Let's see, where was that? Was it? No, it was not that. It was not that either. Here, this was it. This was on the 25th of November 2019. Here, I took all these cases. Actually, with the exception of this one, because it was just, as I said, it was no biggie, but all the other cases 3 months ago, and their dating is very ballpark, by the way, and I just put them all in the mail and sent them all out. Understand this, all of these comments can no longer be seen because they made the video unavailable. They had a video, I explained things, and they said, no! And did away with the video. And there not being a video, no one can click it and no one can read these comments, okay? That's how it works. But these comments still exist. They are still stored on YouTube's databases. So I just you know, sent 1 year back. I just gathered them up till 1 year back. All of these cases where the video has been deleted. I just wanted to show you that there's several such cases, like this one here. See, once more. Let's take it to this case. Let's take it to this case. Someone here. She looks like a dude, says Nate Higgers. How the fuck that is. Oh, is there a letter exchange with Nate Higgers? And I pointed out she does not look like a dude. Why did I point that out? For the freakazoids. And because it's true. Because she doesn't look like a dude. She does not look like a dude. I'm sorry. If you think this looks like a dude, go look at some of the freakazoid females that they deliberately genetically put a male face on. And then you see a woman who looks like a dude. This woman does not look like a dude. Just for completeness sake. And you might think that my comments sometimes don't serve a lot of purpose. You know, you seem to think that he's arguing with Nate Higgers or whatever he called himself. No, I'm not arguing with him. I ain't fucking arguing with him. I make it clear and point out that she does not look like a dude. Not just for Nate Higgers, but for everyone who would read it if YouTube wouldn't suppress the comments. That's the way it works. Here's the case again. I thumbed up the comment, but it's not being counted. It should say 1 here because I thumbed up my own comment. See, I can take it away. I can put it there again, and it's not being counted. So many of these one-line comments, like this here, this is another such case. Let me show you this. So, Steve is a guitar player, and some fucking idiot said, "Never heard Steve swear before, hello, 248. So let's click at 248. That's 248 into it, okay? Let's see what Steve says.
If you stop and take a breath and relax, the shit just starts coming together.
The shit just starts coming together. And Cody James said, "Never heard Steve swear before, lol." And some people said, "Yeah, that's swearing. Oh, you don't say the shit starts coming together." And I point out, that's not swearing, period. For all the fucking dead brain Cody Jameses and all the other fucking freakazoids before they are all annihilated. Because they are attached to Echtmenschen's brains, because otherwise these freakazoids couldn't exist. And with the madness they have going through their dead brains, they weigh down the Echtmenschen. And by writing simple clarifications like "that's not swearing," any freakazoid who would read that would cease being a burden to the Echtmensch he's attached to, delusion that were swearing. The shit comes together is not swearing. And I point that out. I'm not arguing with Cody James. That's not what I'm doing. I am pointing out the truth. And anything and everything I do is aimed at making the situation for the Echtmenschen out there easier, even though the vast majority of them will be annihilated as the infinite traitors that they are. But those elsewhere, say on America, see, the way it works is they have their freakazoids in America who weigh down the brains of the remaining Echtmenschen in America, and the remaining Echtmenschen in America weigh down the brains of the remaining Echtmenschen, say, in Freiland. And I don't like that. So what I do is I tell them that's not swearing. Because there's the goody two-shoes people who say, "Oh, no, must not swear. Oh, Stevie swear. Oh, he must burn in hell for that. He said the shit comes together." Okay, that's the kind of fuck idiots you got out there and you're allowed to breathe. And in similar fashion, many, like this here, this is another thing. I mean, here Farin actually,
Hallo, guten Morgen.
Farin is managing the entire situation a little differently than Bela, or Jan. He's called Jan, actually. His real name is Jan, and Bela's real name is Dirk. Jan is managing the situation a little differently than Dirk. To a certain extent, he is, and this is just a comparative statement, both of them are good people. I exempted both of these people, both Jan and Dirk, from the general all ex-Germans go into the manifold creature and suffer for eternity. These two will not suffer for eternity. If they do not make it to find their life and the liberation of mankind, they will just, go to nothing. Like all the dead were reduced to nothing, they will just, go away, and it's as if they had never existed. But they will not suffer in all perpetuity in the manifold creature. I accepted these two, and actually commented elsewhere that they should get their asses to Vienna, ideally, or anywhere else in the Fatherland area. Now, the funny thing is, they have made quite a few songs in the past, in spite of them being a manipulated act, and ever since their comeback they've been manipulated by especially the bitches, but they allowed other IGs to manipulate them every now and then, and people deluding that they were actually battling against me. I didn't listen to Ärzte music for years and years and years. Basically, ever since their comeback, I didn't listen to Ärzte music until relatively recently again. And there's Fex Mundi who deluded that they were misleading me by allegedly having them sing about a couple of things, such as Captain Metal. If you know that song, they have a song called Captain Metal, when I haven't even heard the song until very recently. I just very recently, for the first time, ever heard the song. And this is about his solo album here. Farin Urlaub Racing Team, that's what his solo act used to be called. I don't know if he still has it or not. And he has a 76 on the cover, which is my birth year, 76. And they gave him that for a reason. And the thing about Farin is that Farin might be, I am making this assessment at a distance, but Farin might be the quintessentially more intelligent of the two. And I mean a type of intelligence. I'm not calling Dirk stupid. I'm not calling Dirk stupid. Dirk is certainly intelligent enough, but Farin is of a more advanced and a wider intelligence than Dirk is. And because of that, the Filth of Fex Mundi seem to enjoy it even more to keep Farin in particular scenario apps, whereas Dirk really, I don't know. I mean, from what the impression I got lately, they're just basically ridiculing Dirk. That's all they're doing. With Farin, they're doing very different things than just ridiculing him. And it makes sense that I point out that he has 76 on his jersey. Even if you don't understand how I arrive at writing that, I understand it, and my understanding it is in the non-dimensional / zero-dimensional of all thought and all understanding and all truth. And from there, any Echtmensch can access it, and sometimes, and there have been such cases again and again, especially when they have thousands and thousands and thousands of the drones around me, as they do sometimes, around my proxy tech and all kinds of frequencies. Some of these drones ask questions. They delude that I am teaching them, that is what they delude, and they further delude that that was how I was allegedly taught, I should say, and that's just deluding. But the truth is, the point I'm trying to make here is that some of these dead brain freakazoids actually accidentally catch some trificals by just being coerced into serving as torturers around me. And it already helps if I, for myself, write this, because for me to write this, I have to summarize all the grasping of the entire situation regarding Farin and blah 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 into a concrete, precise shape, and that is made more precise and concrete in the zero-dimensional. Okay? Such a comment is not in vain, and it does not serve no purpose. It serves a wide variety of purposes, and all of them in my intent of hurting, damaging, and defeating and annihilating Fex Mundi. Okay? Even if superficially you read this and said, what? You are just stupid, I am not, and there is the difference. I should click this here. Sometimes especially on all things football related, soccer, as the fucking idiots in America call it. All things football related, football is completely controlled by religion. They're not a religion, but let's call it that in inverted comma, by religious idiots. Completely controlled by religious idiots. Now, one of them here, a puppet of theirs, used this word, Tempelflitzer. And I must admit, I have never heard that word before. In my entire life, I have never heard this word before. So what I did was, I asked, Bitte, was genau ist ein Tempelflitzer? And I was answered, be it by the user itself, because that's a freakazoid, and or someone puppeteering it, and or someone just taking a liberty to answering, because the user probably never was told that someone asked the question to the comment, that nennt man umgangssprachlich etwas extravagante Schuhe. Now, I don't think that Marcel Reif wears extravagante Schuhe. I think he should wear socks, but I don't see anything extravagant about his shoes, but so be it. This word, imagine the potential for hijacking the meaning of this word, Tempelflitzer. Just imagine the wide vista of abusability of force verbalizing and putting a wrong meaning onto this word, will you? And that is why, and also because of sheer curiosity, to be personally honest, but that's really the second reason. The main reason was I wanted them to themselves define what they mean. And they did. In all their idiocy, they actually did. Them puppeteering this Daniel fuck into answering that. And this doesn't matter. Here at the end, it doesn't matter. Them answering this was they themselves, Fex Mundi themselves, preventing this word from being abused. Do you understand my doing here? If not, well, tough luck. And in similar fashion, in artverwandt, let's see, what's the English word for artverwandt? In related fashion, I don't like that word, but so be it. In related fashion, all my comments, even if you don't like this here, you seem to think that some of these comments are just, oh, they're bad, vile comments. No, they're not bad, vile comments. They are not. They are completely ridiculing themselves with what they think they're doing in Doppelpass, partially because they are not getting forwarded information, such as all the thing about the beer, such as all the thing about who's sitting there already and who ain't, as with any talk show where there's a panel, and where you're simply setting bits, basically, or doing it like on a Mäuseklaviatur, and so on and so forth. All of that shit went poof ages ago. Well, not ages, but a while ago. They don't know that. They still keep ridiculing themselves. And I give them useful information, such as, wenn ihr das Format wirklich nachdegronieren wollt, Fex Mundi, solltet ihr Strunz öfters einladen. That is a sentence that they cannot get out of. All of these fucks run on their scenario apps, and if you feed a sentence like that into their scenario app, something is bound to happen. And they are in such scenarios that no matter what happens, I like it. I like it, because they damage their own act. And that's another reason why my comments are not allowed to be seen by the vast majority of people on YouTube. Because they don't want that to happen, you know. This is, see, sometimes there is a couple of cases. It's not really all that many cases. I guess it's about, I don't know. If you group them roughly, it would probably be about a dozen different cases, no more than that, if even a dozen. This is a very a clearly identifiable particular case. This is a video of Janis Joplin, a pretty decent video in fact, and complete and utter freakazoid, and if that's her photo with a man face on top of that, says, "Sing it, sister, I feel you all the way down to my soul." This is a freakazoid. It is dead. It does not live. It has no such thing as a soul, even if you put it under inverted comma. But they have shit worked on their brains that have them, let's see, what's the right word here in English? Declare themselves siblings to someone who was not a freakazoid. Janis Joplin was an echt mensch, and a very alive one, and a very good one, and that's why she had to die so young. And here's a fucking freakazoid declaring siblingship to an echt mensch. And that is a particular type of thing. And by the way, if you think my thumb down counts or anything, no. This is two people who thumbed it up other than me. See, I can take this away and nothing happens. See? It doesn't change the count, okay? Though, let's put it back because it belongs there. So here's the case of a freakazoid declaring siblingship to someone who was an echt mensch who was killed by Fix Mundi. And that's the case with which Fix Mundi, it's the kind of thing that basically in their idiot minds they say, in German you would say, na, wenn das durchgeht, ja, dann ist das durchgegangen. No, it doesn't go durch. It doesn't. Because this is a fucking freakazoid. It has a dead brain. It is not in the zero dimensional. It is not alive. The universe doesn't even know of its existence if it weren't for me, another echt mention, who bring the truth of the existence of such creatures, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions out there, incidentally, to the universe's knowledge. And I point out, that woman was so, I'm not sure if you can pick this up, this so is actually italicized, cursive. That woman was so not your sister. I'm just pointing it out because it's the truth. Also, this is just 3 months ago. That she wrote this 3 months ago already. All the dead had been deleted to nothing. Long prior to that, all the dead had been deleted to nothing. These freakazoids are kept in the delusion that their doing does something. I mean, in the sense that there's idiot Fix Mundi who delude that keeping freakazoids from freakazoids at writing shit like that, declaring their siblingship to those who once lived, unlike the dead corpse forms, that thereby somehow they steal their life or become alive or shit like that. She is declaring, let's call it it is declaring a sisterhood to someone who at that point, 3 months ago, was already reduced to nothing. Janis Joplin, along with all other dead of the history of mankind, were reduced to nothing. They are gone. There is no more dead in the zero dimensional. I did away with all the dead. At a point where there isn't even any dead anymore, they think that keeping freakazoids at declaring some kind of huggery towards the dead, that does something for them. Because these are not being informed. And I don't mean the fucking freakazoids, because no one cares about informing the freakazoids anyhow, because why should they? I mean the IGs in the background who manipulate these. Those are not being informed. My pointing that out includes the information of everything about that situation, the absurdity, the doing, blah, 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 blah. It's all included. And here I am telling her, that woman was so not your sister. Idiot fucks think, oh, he's just saying bad things at the other papers. No, he's not saying bad things. It's called truth, honey bunnies in the beehives. And when I say in the beehives, I don't mean the home of insects. I mean the hairstyle beehives, like in the 60s beehives. Because there's some old cunts still around who used to be around in the beehive days, and they are still being as absolutely insane and absent as they ever were. So let's continue. And this, what I meant to say at first, is this is a typical case of particular crap that freakazoids are made to comment because they think, well, if many people enough say it, people, they're not people, if many freakazoids say it, then it must come true! Oh, because it's democracy, and if more people say I rather than I, then it's true! Ah! And all of a sudden, corpse forms will become alive! Or, no, they will not. They are corpse forms. This word. I've written a mail on this. I think I may have mentioned it years ago in one of the videos. They're forced verbalization. There is the casual saying to own something, and that does not mean to be in the possession of something, in this particular case, if it's meant in a casual way, but it means to dominate over something. I've been telling these fucking idiots that the worse they torture me, the better I get at defeating them. Because I am right and they are wrong, and I am truth, I am all life, I am the infinite universe, I am infinity itself, I am everything. See, let's talk about everything. Oops, yeah, sorry, that was the wrong. I can talk about everything. For the longest time, I sign. Let's see. Here. I deliberately chose a German one. Though, if you need it in English, here it is in English. Same thing. Imperator, truth, universe, life, war. Imperator, not imperator. That has nothing to do. That has to do with empor. The imperator is he who brings all life empor to something better. Nothing to do with imperator. It's not an empire, nor whatever. Now, these 5 are just a subset of a heck of a lot of things you could say here. And what Faxmuni doesn't understand is that these build on one another in a mathematically confederated way. This is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this one is the 0-dimensional, and this one is the dimensional, just that as they're building on one another, it includes the 0-dimensional. This one is the life in both, because this includes all here, and this one, as I made it clear before, war is life's sane resort, the measure to defend itself. That is what war is, and one builds on the other, and they don't understand these things. They don't understand which is which. They don't understand confederated. A little surprising, because Faxmundi is doing their darnest to blot out and bar any kind of confederatedness being topic of their thinking. They diluted thereby all that were left were union, and they try thus to save the concept of union, which was abolished and proven as folly to the infinite universe a long time ago by me, as all things. This word has to do with them refusing, or actually not this word, this cause and effect. Me getting tortured by the idiots and me owning more and more and more has to do with them steadfastly refusing to think this through and allow through their brains what this actually means. And also the mathematics of it. How this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And you know, I mean, I tell them, there, I write it, okay, in English. And they don't care. Well, that's tough luck. Now, we're still just 3 weeks ago. As you can see, I've been very busy commenting because, again, this is a similar case. The more they freak out over something, and their attempts at sabotaging me via YouTube have skyrocketed. I mean, they've been sabotaging and suppressing me best as possible via YouTube for years and years and years now, but they recently had another freak out again where they got even worse and even more paranoical about everything and whatnot. So I know what I'm doing here when I'm making these comments. See, it doesn't take much. I sit in front of a video, I don't know, like this here, And I just write the truth. Not just is the vocal forgery mediocre, because all of these songs are forged. It's not how they used to be on the records, and it's nothing about compressing algorithms. This is forged. There's wrong singers. They are taking outtakes sometimes from the real singers and forging them into that. This is all forged. So I just spread some truth. Not just as a vocal forgery mediocre, it's not even synced to the video on their official channel. That's rather pathetic even for this one. And that's true. That's true. And so on and so forth. And that's just 3 weeks ago. I'm just going to cut it out at when it says 1 month ago. Then I'll cut it out. Here it says 1 month ago. Okay, so you've come till here. Now there is plenty more such comments. Plenty more comments. Again, if you promise not to manipulate anything or delete anything, I allow you to, log into my account merely for sake of looking, not changing, not deleting, not adding, not doing anything, merely looking at my own comments. Because if, when my account, you go to history, and then you can see the watch history, which I've paused currently. It doesn't say here when I watched this. I paused the watch history, and I should be sorting this out a little. The search history I regularly clear just because they're idiots, and I clear it in order to minimize the damage they can do. And the comments, though, you got the comments till all the way back. I mean, I'd have to click on the load more button for probably 100 times, and you get all the comments from years and years and years ago. There's all my comments. That's the stuff that they don't tell you. That's the stuff that they don't show you. That's the stuff they discredit. They discredit me with the ads that I'm being shoved into without being able to click them away until 5 seconds into it, and so on and so forth. You have been told. Let's see. How long is this? There's no counter anywhere. Well, anyhow.